It's time for the Double J podplex, where wrestling lives. So man up and step on in. For all your wrestling news and commentary, here are your hosts, Jeremy and Jimmy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another great edition of the show. This is the Double J Podplex show. My name is Jeremy, and of course, with me is my compadre, my brother-in-arm, Jimmy.
You know, I would like to first welcome you all back to the Double J Podplex, and I would like to let you know we are now the newest affiliate to the Big Baller brand. And we couldn't have asked for a better leader than Lavar Ball, June the 3rd.
Let me make a note, or a little side note. Jimmy is the newest guy on that whole ordeal. Well, not me.
Well, you know, as Lavar said, there's only two guys better than him, and he's both.
And he's both.
All right, so
yeah.
Let's realize that. That is our leader here at Double J Podplex, and Jeremy's just in doubt at this moment. But we'll see where that goes. We'll see where that leads. I know we have many of you yelling at me right now because Lavar is a hated human being right now.
He is a hated human being.
I think that may be why I'm kind of digging him a little bit, man.
A lot of people. I can see what you're saying. A lot of people would like him just because he's creating controversy. Just didn't Eric Bischoff write a book called "Controversy Creates Cash"? And didn't he write?
Yes, he did. But it's almost like the old saying, bad publicity is good publicity. It's still publicity.
It's still publicity.
But I will certainly be happy to go into that in a little bit more detail a little later on. But however, this is a wrestling show, damn it.
This is.
And we are going to talk a little wrestling with y'all, and hopefully you will stick around to the end, and I'll give you a fun fact.
A fun fact. Here's a fun fact. Great Balls of Fire is a stupid name for a wrestling pay-per-view. Why did they go with that name?
I can honestly say I have absolutely no idea why they went with the name Great Ball of Fire. I don't know if it was obviously to play on the great song by the legend himself, Jerry Lee Lewis.
Right.
But that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense why they would, alright, so we respect Jerry Lee Lewis, or we're fans of the song, or we're fans of his work, or we're fans of Memphis. I don't know. I don't understand the why. Like, why not go back to Bad Blood? Why not go back to something else that was at least something? I'm okay with making new pay-per-views, but this one didn't make any sense to me.
You know what would have made perfect sense is the Great American Bash.
Yes. It has the word great in it.
Great, it does. You
wouldn't have to change much.
Right.
You can still keep the same, marquee great name and just, add some crap to it.
Dude, that would be cool if they used obviously Great American Bash is an old WCW pay-per-view, but they used
they
a
own
lot of the
WCW.
other ones. Right,
true. Yeah.
Like Halloween Havoc.
Havoc was sick.
I would love Halloween Havoc.
That was the first ever pay-per-view I saw was Halloween Havoc.
Really?
Yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'll never forget it. It was actually, the main event was Hulk Hogan versus Sting.
Wow.
Yeah. Still to this day don't remember who won. But it was Hogan and Sting, damn it.
But you had the WWE Network to look that up.
That would be correct. And it's now can be yours for only $9.99. Yeah.
That's right. So, but yeah, Great Balls of Fire, it's such a ridiculous name. I just don't really know what to say about it other than it's just a ridiculous name,
Yeah, hopefully, we could have a couple of y'all, maybe give us some insight on why they may have changed the name or why they have added the name, rather. And if it makes any sense to you, your little, complaints or your maybe you like it. I don't know if you're one of those people, but maybe you like it. I don't,
Right.
To each his own, not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Exactly. But they do have, really one big match that we're going to kind of touch on a little bit. Then another one that's just kind of like, all right, well, we've seen this match before and which actually I'll bring that one up first, which is Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen that match before a couple of times, and this time it's going to be an ambulance match.
It's another stipulation. It's another stipulation match that kind of takes away from how good the match can be. Why does it have to be an ambulance match? What is the obsession with the ambulance with Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman?
I guess just because what happened with them prior. When Strowman, flipped it,
mm-hmm.
put him in the ambulance and flipped it over with him in it,
I mean, I get it and I understand keeping it going, keeping that, that trend, so to speak, going. But why do ambulance matches even exist? Why don't you just make it a, false count anywhere or anything goes or whatever you want to make it? You could have probably a much better match than that.
You could have.
I guess technically it is an anything goes match, but
you could have put him on a kendo stick on a pole match.
Which is obviously, as we all know, the best match in WWE history.
Yes.
Bayley and Alexa Bliss, kendo stick on a pole match.
Kendo stick on a pole.
For the win. But as far as they go, Braun Strowman is definitely way bigger than when we first started doing this podcast.
Yes.
He is somebody who I actually like and I actually am behind now.
I agree.
The non-talking so much Roman Reigns I like as well. But I guess the symbolism of if you're in an ambulance, you're going to the hospital, is cool in a sense, but I don't know, man. I kind of disagree with the match. But if you had to say who's going to... First of all, I'm going to ask you a two-part question. The first is who wins this match. And the second is who actually has more to gain from this match.
I'm going to say Braun on both accounts.
Braun on both accounts.
I would say Braun, he will win. I think if he wins this match, it'll just kind of give him more vindication to go challenge Brock Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
That's if he defeats Samoa Joe for the Universal title.
And that's quite the big if, my friend.
That's
quite
the
big if. Alluding to that, I think before before the injury, obviously, I think it was, we've talked about this before, I think it was supposed to obviously be Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, which would have made sense.
Right.
And then when he gets injured, they fumble along, and as you alluded to earlier, they came up with the godsend in Samoa Joe. Not only is he a great all-around wrestler, not only is he the destroyer, not only is he actually damn good on the mic, doesn't really get a whole lot of credit for that.
Right.
But he is a true veteran and somebody who is not only picking up the slack, but running with it. Getting to that match. I hate to ask the same questions, but it's pretty much the same questions. Who wins? Who would you say would win the match? And yet again, we're going to be talking about this again in a week.
Right.
But your early prediction for Samoa Joe and Brock, and does it make sense to keep the strap on Lesnar? I guess that goes with who wins the match. But
yeah, I think obviously Joe would gain more out of this. I mean, Lesnar's not going to gain anything out of this. This is just
yeah.
I mean, this will be another victory if he wins. But if Samoa Joe wins, this would be huge.
Yeah.
This would be this will look good on Joe. And, but honestly, I think just because of, what I brought up earlier with Braun and Brock, they're going to try and set that up.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if I had to guess, I would say Lesnar will win just for that simple fact that they're going to, set up for Braun and Brock.
Well, you would assume that since that was like we were saying, since that was the original plan.
Right.
But they may have accidentally stumbled upon the next big guy. I think all of us hardcore fans knew what Joe was capable of.
Yeah.
All of us fans who knew who Samoa Joe was beforehand. And even Triple H, to a certain extent, knew what Joe was capable of. Now, not only is the regular public, or the generic fan, whatever you want to call him, starting to realize what Joe is about, so is Vince.
Mm-hmm.
Allowing this type of push for somebody like Samoa Joe. So that is interesting to me. They may have found their next big star, and having him go over on Lesnar is actually a good thing, because at that point, you don't know what the heck's going on. If he goes over on Lesnar, you would assume, like we were talking about, the winner of Strowman and Roman Reigns would have a match with Lesnar at SummerSlam.
Right.
How do we know it's just them? Yet again, it's kind of weird to think of a three-way between Roman, Brock, and Strowman. I mean, Samoa Joe, Brock, and Strowman, but maybe I just created a fatal four-way without even meaning to.
Yeah, you may have.
What about this? What about SummerSlam? The first ever Elimination Chamber at SummerSlam. Just put everybody in there and just say go.
That would be good.
Just say go.
Actually, no, that would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great.
It would be great balls of fire.
Great, right.
Goodness gracious.
Goodness gracious.
Great balls of fire. And Mamma Mia. Speaking of Mamma Mia.
Yes, he's back. He's
Speaking
back
of Mamma Mia.
He's in NXT right now.
I know that's your guy, and I would love to know, how's your day going now? Since that has happened, how is your day going now since the great one, Mauro Ranallo, is back in a WWE?
I only have one response to that. Mamma Mia! That's my response. I love hearing that. He's so exciting.
He is an exciting guy, man. I tell you, when you look at commentators nowadays, it's amazing how good Corey Graves is.
Yes.
And we talk about that all the time. How good Corey Graves is. How good Mauro was, or is rather. And how, to me, underrated Michael Cole is from a, not talking standpoint necessarily, but from a veteran standpoint. Because you've noticed a lot of times with Michael Cole, he's almost letting these younger guys talk more.
Yeah.
Because behind the scenes, he's as good as anybody.
Yeah.
As much crap as we give Cole, and especially Kevin Owens, because he's Kevin Owens.
Right.
But, as much crap as we give Michael Cole, he's actually not a bad commentator, but he's better behind the scenes and setting these type of things up.
Yes.
The question I want to ask you as far as commentators go, I'm not going to ask you who you think the best commentator in WWE, including NXT, is, because we already basically answered that, I believe.
Right.
How in the hell does John Bradshaw Layfield have a job? Would I guess be my question.
Because he's John Bradshaw Layfield.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's the first thing that pops in my head when I'm asked that question.
Yeah,
he's been with the company for a long time.
Yeah, and he's a Vince guy.
Yes.
Although
he is kind of a jerk at times, from what I understand, and be behind wrestling,
right.
in the backstage, if you'll call it, of wrestling,
right?
Which from all the rumors were saying that he was bullying Mauro Ranallo, which is
that's unacceptable,
right? Which
it's unacceptable in a professional state. Right, it's unacceptable.
Which we don't know if that is true or not technically, but I guess we can assume it.
Yeah.
But that was what caused Mauro Ranallo to leave.
Mm-hmm.
And he was I read his Twitter stuff. I read his posts, and he was in a dark place. He was just just in a bad spot, and I saw fans reaching out to him, but hey, come back, and everything's to be okay, and he was very accepting of those people's comments, and and I was hoping he'd come back, and sure enough, he's back. Which is good.
Yes, indeed. And he's in the perfect spot, which is NXT. I think that's perfect for him. And NXT has, as we always talk about, has come so far and is, to me, the best show outside of WWE. Is the place to go.
Yes.
It's even NXT rivals, organizations like Ring of Honor and New Japan, as much as people are going to shoot me in the face about that. But they are starting to rival that because obviously they're getting guys from there, from the indies.
Right.
But as far as Bradshaw, and this is the last thing I'll touch on Bradshaw, because there's so much more to talk about in this wrestling world than John Bradshaw Layfield. I don't even want to give him a time of day. But as far as he goes, this isn't the only time it's happened. This is the only time something's happened involving his name or involving him. And there's much more to this than we give it credit for, and we even giving it a lot of credit right now.
Yes,
there's much more to this than we speak of, and but I guess in closing of it, happy to have Mauro Ranallo back. He is in a perfect place in NXT.
Yes,
he may make NXT, more must watch than it already is.
Mm-hmm.
So, hats off to you, my friend. That's what I want to hear.
Absolutely, and so LeVar Ball was on Raw the other day. And I know, you brought up, the Big Brawler brand earlier.
Well, it's funny you say that, Jeremy. It's funny you say that because did you know that there's actually another company, actually a sponsor of ours, that is a new affiliate to the Big Baller brand.
I believe you are referring to Custom Vapors?
I am referring to Custom Vapors.
Custom Vapors, located at 1928 Williams Boulevard in beautiful Kenner, Louisiana. Go see the people over there. They're awesome cats. And,
if you're looking for any type of custom vape, any type of new tank, any type of specialty, I almost call it juice, specialty mix.
A mix.
Anything and everything, they will definitely help your best desires. And ask them for the new Lonzo Ball special. They'll know what it means. All right, they'll know what it means. And tell them the guys at Double J sent you. And remember,
if it ain't custom, it's crap. That's right. Boom.
Now, getting back to my good buddy LaVar Ball, one thing I don't think I talk about a whole lot on this show just because it's not wrestling, although it's starting to be included in wrestling, is the fact of ESPN. ESPN includes WWE in there. They have segments. I hate ESPN. And I don't talk about this too much. And yet again, I don't want to get too stupid involved.
Right.
But I was not a believer in LaVar Ball whatsoever. Did not like LaVar Ball, thought he was a jackass, thought he was taking, the spotlight away from his kid, which indeed he is.
Yes.
But he's a little bit more than that. When I watched an interview with, pick out your monkey at ESPN to interview him. It doesn't really matter. They're interchangeable. Anyway, they've proven that when they fired 100 people.
Right.
So they're interchangeable. But he was interviewing LaVar Ball, and LaVar Ball had a very good interview, actually. Talked about, his sons, talked about, finally him talking about his sons, right? Mm-hmm. Talked about his sons, and talked about this one time, Lonzo didn't really get in trouble, but this one time, he kind of hit him in the back of the head and this, that, told him this and that, and Lonzo went in the back because he knew he was in trouble, and every time he was upset or he knew he was in trouble, he would shoot the basketball in the backyard. He was just, because he is a very, very good shooter, as it were. But he was, would shoot. And, LaVar Ball, I think, mentioned once or twice about, this and that. Sometimes you just got to hit a kid in the back of the head. At the end of the interview, the jackass anchor, whoever it may be, doesn't really matter. Like I said, they're interchangeable. Comes out, instead of saying, how about that, good luck to Lonzo, or how about that interview with LaVar, they said, it's kind of troubling that LaVar Ball hit his kids in the back of the head. That's what you got from that? Like, this could go way deeper if I let it. I'm not going to let it.
Right,
but that's what you got from that interview. Like, I'm just tired of ESPN being just such pussies, dude. It's really getting aggravating. The once great, legendary broadcast station known as ESPN is falling to Fox Sports, and they're falling quickly. That interview itself started to make me like LaVar Ball, and just the way he spoke of his kids. He actually seemed like a good dad. He was funny. He was actually very funny, which showed a little bit of that on Raw, which is why we're here talking about it. He fit in very well with The Miz. The Miz was the perfect person, the perfect welcoming committee, if you will, for LaVar Ball. Mm-hmm. But Jeremy, if you want to key me in, I believe there was a little bit of controversy at the LaVar Ball gimmick showdown, so shall we say?
Yeah. So on Raw, LaVar Ball and The Miz, he was on Miz TV, his show, and they're about to scrap, and all of a sudden,
LaVar Ball took his shirt off.
Started doing stupid stuff.
Yeah, all the young ladies, they cried. They cried. It's like the Beatles again. It's LaVar mania.
Oh, please don't say that. But so they're about to go. Stuff is about to go down.
He wanted to show him his big ballers.
His big ballers. We'll call them that. And then Dean Ambrose, you hear the Dean Ambrose theme. Mm-hmm. And his youngest son, I should say. What's his youngest son name?
LaMelo. Yeah.
LaMelo drops some N-bombs on the microphone.
Yeah.
Which
not supposed to do that.
No,
you're not supposed to do that.
That's a big no. I remember reading. Vince was a little heated about it. But I mean, I think he made the mistake of giving LaVar Ball and his sons a microphone.
Well, that would be correct. I'd have to agree with you on that. I think he made the mistake of giving the kids microphones. I think LaVar Ball's smart enough to know not to drop the N-bomb on television. I would believe. Well, I mean, he to be honest, he didn't really say anything bad. I mean, he was just being his natural goofy self. I mean, I think it was a mistake given younger kids, because he's still a kid.
Yeah.
That's one thing we forget. He's still a kid, and he's still, in, I don't know, whatever mind frame he may have been in. And obviously he may speak that way at home, which, it is what it is. You're in your own house, whatever you want to say. But as far as dropping an N-bomb, which is obviously greatly offensive, but not only greatly offensive, it's just straight up inappropriate in the middle of a WWE ring.
Yeah.
When, to be honest, like Curtis Axel said, in his opinion, they didn't even belong in that ring.
They did.
Now, when he starts talking about his family and his dad and the great Kurt Hennig, yeah, compared to them, they don't. But it was just a segment. It was a segment to get people talking. But as far as the N-bomb being dropped by a young kid, I think you're right. I don't think they should have had mics in the first place.
No.
I think maybe when Lonzo, since they were in Los Angeles, Lonzo Ball just got drafted to your team. Everybody is excited about that.
Right.
He played for UCLA.
Right.
Played at Chino Hills. Local guy, from high school on up. Giving him the mic for a minute, saying, I'm happy to be a Laker. Perfect.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Correct, yeah.
But it's just truly unacceptable to have that happen at a professional event. I would have expected a little bit more out of the kid. But, hey, maybe LeVar missed on that one. Maybe instead of the big baller brand, it's become just the BB. Maybe they're forgetting one of them.
Right.
So, we'll see that. We'll keep you updated on that factor. Dean Ambrose also will keep you updated on the fact that he is another affiliate of the big baller brand. We are starting to become worldwide. So, I think everybody needs to jump on board with Double J. And, ride with us, man. Ride with us. Jeremy, one thing, getting away from the big baller brand, cause, Jeremy's getting a little upset. He's not the biggest fan of LeVar. But I would like to ask you a serious question because it's more about wrestling than the big baller brand and than the whole California nation.
One question a day. Go.
One question I would like to know. Are you going to be in the Joe Louis Arena on July 28th in Detroit, Michigan?
No, but I will be at Toyota Park July 14th through the 16th to see Chicago Open Air.
Yeah, no, I can't go to that.
You can't go to that.
Yeah, Uncle Jimmy will be here with y'all, apparently. I can't.
He'll be here.
I'll be doing a solo show because I'll be sad because I'm not going to be in Chicago watching Stone Sour and Kiss and
Rob Zombie
and
Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax.
You're really helping.
I could keep going.
Yeah, Dragon Force too, man.
Clutch.
Dude. Anyways,
yeah.
As far as that goes, Jeremy, correct me if I'm wrong, but it is rumored that you have a possible Universal Championship match on July 28th in the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, which apparently 29th, excuse me. Which apparently is going to be the last showing of WWE in the Joe Louis Arena. Now, I didn't know it was being torn down. I wasn't informed of this, and that upsets me because Joe Louis was my guy. But boxing's another story for another day.
Right.
It is the rumor that Lesnar is going to defend his title, but not against somebody that we would think.
No. Actually, the rumor is Brock Lesnar, the Beast Incarnate, will be defending his Universal title.
Wait for it.
Against none other than the Lone Wolf himself, Baron Corbin, Mr. Money in the Bank. Now, what if? Do you think? Now, I'm just kind of throwing this out there as a possibility, but I don't think it will happen. Do you think that he might be cashing his
on
Money
Lesnar?
In the Bank?
Yeah,
on Lesnar and scheduling it for that day?
Well, the moment you said that was kind of what I was thinking. Mm-hmm. But the fact is, for Brock Lesnar to show up on SmackDown Live is out of character.
Right.
Brock Lesnar is a Raw superstar.
Right.
But we all know Brock Lesnar, and probably John Cena as well, could do either. For him to cash in, Brock Lesnar would have to just randomly show up for, I don't know why he would be there, but if he's there, yeah, I can see Baron Corbin cashing in. Or it may just be some random, for some reason, we're giving you a championship match.
Right.
How can you count out Baron Corbin? I mean, he's not going to get dominated by Lesnar, dude.
No, I wouldn't think.
I wouldn't believe so. So,
no.
that's one of those things that I think we'll allude to a little bit more next week. But as of right now, just hearing the possibility of a Lesnar and Corbin match, or even a Lesnar and Corbin feud on SmackDown Live, is quite the interesting story.
Yes.
It's quite the interesting story, and also that same night, are we going to actually get another Mahal and Orton?
That's the rumor. That's the word on the street. And yeah, I mean they're saying another, Orton will get another shot at the WWE title.
And this is supposedly, since it's in the Joe Louis Arena, this is supposedly outside of their next pay-per-view. This is supposedly outside of the Punjabi. I can barely say
the Punjab. You ought to call
Punjabi.
Just call it the Punjabi.
The Punjabi prison match.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Punjabi prison match, are you familiar with the other two Punjabi prison matches that have ever happened? Are you familiar with who was the competitors and how shit the matches were?
If I remember correctly, the first one was the Great Khali versus Batista, right?
No, I think it's the other way around.
Oh, okay.
Believe it or not, you would think that'd be the first one.
Right, you would think.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know that was one of them.
Yes, that was the second one.
Another one was Taker and who?
It was Taker and the Big Show.
The Big Show.
Taker and the Big Show. Yeah, Taker and the Big Show, and both matches were very underwhelming. However, one thing I would like to bring up as far as those matches go, in both of the matches, you were dealing with very big people.
Yes.
Okay. Big Show in a match like that slows him down. Okay.
Right.
Great Khali is slowed down just by walking down to the ring.
Yeah.
So that was an issue. In this match, you're dealing with Orton and Mahal, who are two very physically gifted wrestlers and very agile at times if they need to be.
Right.
Of course, Orton, obviously. They're going to put on a much better match than you would assume. But still, it just doesn't make sense to me. But they're going to put on a good match.
I think they will too.
So
just like you said, they're more agile than the
I think they're going to put on a
competitors in this said match. So
much different match than the two times before.
So not only will there be those two title matches, there's going to be another title match on that said SmackDown Live, and that is going to be the face of America, Kevin Owens, taking on the phenomenal AJ Styles, which is your boy.
Absolutely.
And the underdog from the underground, Sami Zayn, in a triple threat match for the U.S. title. That will be, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and say that will be the must-see match of the night. I think.
Well, I'll tell you, hell, I kind of want to go to the Joe Louis Arena. I mean, this is basically what it's telling me right now. To have a U.S. title match between, AJ Styles, and yet again, these last three matches we've talked about are basically just rumored as far as we know at this moment.
Right.
But as far as, live SmackDowns, the rumored matches normally come to fruition. So that's one thing I am pretty excited about. Having that match, I guess the question is who comes away with the United States title. And yet again, dude, it's just, to me, it's too far off for me to even really comment on that further. I'm just excited about the idea that you could have AJ Styles, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn.
That is exciting.
In a U.S. title match. Yeah, you're going to
super exciting.
You're going to get a, they're going to put on a freaking clinic in the middle of that ring.
Absolutely.
And, kids, if there's a match you watch all year, if that comes to fruition, you watch KO, AJ Styles, and Sami Zayn, it will be, pardon the pun, phenomenal.
If there's a SmackDown Live to watch all year.
Yes, absolutely. If that does come to fruition.
Yes, if these are actual legitimate matches that will be happening, this is the SmackDown.
And that's not even counting what they would do with Shinsuke, what they would do with Dolph. I mean,
right.
That on the 29th in the Joe Louis Arena, that's going to be an interesting live event. So, we'll definitely keep a close eye on that. Jeremy, one thing I would like to ask you, since we are getting closer to Great Balls of Fire, it is not Sunday, it is next Sunday.
You already asked your one question of the day. I'm just kidding, go ahead.
That messed me all up.
It messed you all up, huh?
That messed me all up.
The curveball.
Well, I'm gonna hit the curveball.
Yeah. Go for it. Go ahead.
It's up there. I got that Griffey swing,
Oh, that's the prettiest swing ever.
I got the Griffey swing. Since the card is not full as of yet, okay? The card is not full as of yet for Great Balls of Fire. What would be, Give me 2 more matches you would predict for the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and say Finn Balor and Elias Sampson.
Ooh.
I'll go ahead and throw that one out there. I like how they're pushing Sampson.
Thank you.
I like it.
Finally.
I like it. You know, he's got he has some great in-ring work.
He really
does. And he has a good physique.
Yes,
I like his physique. You know, he's big, but he looks like he can move around a lot, you know?
Yes.
And I like his he's got that, like a trailblazer kind of feel to him. You know, he's just got his acoustic guitar, just plays his songs, and you know what I'm saying?
My comments with that match, first of all, for Elias Sampson to be in the ring with Finn Balor is a true push, whether he wins the match or not. That's a push. Elias Sampson is just unique. I think the fact of, for some reason, he did not get over with the crowd in NXT, but people are rooting for him on the WWE main roster. I think it's because when he came on, he wasn't forced down your throat immediately. It was like he was just in the background. Who is that guy? This and that, this and that. What are they going to do with him? It added intrigue. And, that's what you want to see in a still a developmental superstar, but the guy's he has the chops for it.
Yes.
He could talk. He apparently can do a little, impromptu song for whatever city he's in.
Hey, I'm down with it.
And him and the Demon King, I think, would be a hell of a match. He and the Demon King would be a hell of a match. And, I look forward to that. I think it will happen as well. I'd have to agree with you on that.
Right.
But as far, just the push of Elias Sampson, I think is going to go a long way. I've told y'all about Elias Sampson. I've told you he's coming. And I'm just happy to be right once again, man.
You're good at this thing.
I'm happy to be right once again. It does make me feel well. You know why that I'm right most of the time?
Why is that?
Because I read the Lavar Ball book on how to be a big baller. Okay? That is what we do. That is the way we are. And hey, winners gonna win, haters gotta hate. Big baller. But
insert facepalm gif here for on my part.
Oh man, I don't even know how serious I am anymore. But I'm starting to like it. But as far as as the card gets bigger as we get closer to Great Balls of Fire, as far as I think, I know, I actually named 2 more matches. I'm just gonna jump at it. I think we're thinking basically the same thing for the next match. And, I didn't even mean that one. I was gonna say for the tag team titles.
Oh, okay.
We gotta have a tag team title match.
Right.
You would assume it would be the Hardys and Sheamus and Cesaro yet again. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to another, great match between the 2 teams. Obviously Alexa Bliss and Sasha Banks, they're gonna put on a show. Neville and Akira Tozawa is interesting to me. Because Tozawa, to me, is the next up-and-comer in the Cruiserweight division, but I hate the Cruiserweight division. So, I'm kind of twisted there. But let me know what you think about the fact that we assume there's going to be a Seth Rollins-Bray Wyatt match. What amounts from that match, and does Bray Wyatt finally, get his groove back, so to speak? Well, that's gay. Get back on the right track.
It seems like with Bray, every time he gets put on the right track, he gets taken right off.
Yeah, exactly.
So, in the WWE, you just gotta keep pushing. You just gotta keep doing your thing. Bray Wyatt has, even though he may not be, if he wins a title, he may not hold it for a long time, or, it's not like he's won many titles to begin with.
Correct.
But, I think as long as he keeps doing what he's doing with his whole gimmick and his, his whole persona, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I think
he'll be like another Taker, and I don't mean just like on the evil side, but when you look back, Taker, he didn't win like a whole ton of championships. So like, he won a lot of different ones, but like, we wasn't like Cena or Flair where he held the world title 16 times.
No, and he didn't need it, like you said. He didn't need it.
But I think Bray Wyatt's kind of in the same mold where he doesn't really need it, but also it's also not really helping him that he's not winning them at the same time. You know?
To me, it's more, and I agree with that, but to me, I agree with the whole title thing completely. But to me, it's more of the fact that he's not winning matches.
Well, yeah,
he's not winning matches. It's more, because Taker won matches.
Right.
It was more than just the titles. To me, titles help people like Cena, help people like Flair, like Triple H, like Orton. People like Bray Wyatt, people like Baron Corbin, for instance, people like Taker, people like, dare I say, Finn Balor, don't need the titles.
Right.
Their gimmick is good enough. Yes. They're good enough. Yeah. As much as I hate to say it as well, AJ Styles doesn't really need it as much as I love seeing him with it. But yet again, I was getting a little bit off track. But basically, the whole comparison between Taker and Bray is the whole dark gimmick.
Right.
Obviously. Taker never won a whole bunch of championships. Bray probably won't either. But I would like to see Bray Wyatt pick up some more signature wins. Because as much as I love hearing him talk, it means nothing if you're losing match after match after match after match after match.
Right.
And feud after feud after feud.
Right.
That doesn't mean anything. And it sucks because he's my guy. So.
This is true. And speaking of my guy, my guy is going to be fighting in Japan soon.
Yeah. You have,
Itami, is that, what's his name?
Hideo Itami.
Yeah.
Against Chris Jericho.
That's great.
Okay. I mean, that's one of those fantasy matchups. I think you'd probably agree.
It's going to be a good match.
It's
for sure.
I think it's going to be exceptional. I think it's going to be something we talk about for a little while on this show. You know, it's going to be something that we keep going back to. It's going to be a special match, especially because you don't know how long we got Jericho.
You know why he's the GOAT?
A special match.
You know why he's the GOAT? Because they have him fighting Itami in Japan.
Yeah. They don't have anybody else doing that.
And being at his age,
yeah,
he's like 43 or 44. No, 45, I think. Somewhere around there.
Being his age and doing what he does is awesome. No doubt. No doubt, man.
You know, it's crazy.
No doubt. Chris Jericho's the man, dude. It's not even close.
Jericho, actually, he I don't say he started in Japan. He may have started in Japan. Yeah. I think he started in Japan and went to Mexico, or vice versa.
I don't remember where he started. I know he did spend
he was both
a good
in Mexico
deal of time and
Japan, and then went on to ECW, WCW, and now,
if you think about it, Chris Jericho may have actually been the first real indie guy to succeed in WWE. That's something we will certainly touch on and do a little bit more research, but I think we're pretty much correct on that. One thing that I want to, I guess, mention before we close out.
Right.
We are actually getting, and I know some of our listeners may not be that big on the independent scene and may not be that big in New Japan, although a lot of people are getting more knowledgeable about it, which is good. It's a great product. The fact that we're going to get a Kenny Omega Okada match
part three.
Strap on in. Find a way to watch it. It is going to be another match of the year candidate.
Yeah.
Two guys at the top of their game. How the hell Kenny Omega is not in WWE? How Vince and Triple H aren't salivating over getting him to WWE is beyond me. Okay? And that gets me back to, I guess the big statement, oh, well, WWE is overcrowded. Well, it is.
It is.
That's why you have NXT.
Right.
There should be more of turning NXT instead. It is your developmental territory, but turning it also into a bigger show, I think would help everyone. Yeah. So that way you actually basically have 3 shows. 205 shouldn't exist.
No.
Period. 205 should not exist.
Because they're limited to who they can fight.
Right. I mean, that will be my last rant of the evening, I believe, is 205. The fact that you have a cruiserweight division, not a cruiserweight title. Cruiserweight title makes sense.
Yeah.
Cruiserweight tournament makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Triple H did a hell of a job. But then when Vince decided, hey, we have to keep these guys to a 205 weight limit and they have their own division, that's retarded.
What?
You're not going to have Austin Aries versus, AJ Styles. You're not going to have, Brian Kendrick versus, Dean Ambrose. I mean, you don't have these matches that could be something really special.
Right.
You don't have, Neville against Kevin Owens. I mean, you don't have matches that could really rip the roof off and could end up being really good feuds because you're not allowed to leave that division. And Austin Aries is the guy I keep reverting to because of the fact that you're not going to have Aries Ziggler. You're not going to have Aries Nakamura.
Right.
You're not going to have Aries Rude even when Rude comes back over, because he's glorious. You're not going to have those type of matches because you keep it bottled up into a division. And that's about all I have to say about that, Jeremy. I'm going to let you take it.
Well, honestly, that's really it. If you ask me.
Oh, okay. Well,
that was it.
I guess that's it for us, folks.
I mean, dude, you pretty much explained everything that could and should be said about that,
Well, that's what I try to do. I try to be the anchor at the end of it.
Yeah.
And I try to anchor it and just, yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't Rey Mysterio back in the day fight Batista at a WrestleMania or something
Yes,
like that?
he did. Rey Mysterio had matches with The Undertaker. Rey Mysterio had matches with Great Khali. Rey Mysterio had matches with guys much bigger than him, and they were still good matches.
So 205 Live is debunked.
Stupid. What about Guerrero? What about Malenko? What about Chris Benoit? I can't say that name. I can't.
Screw that.
I can't say that name. Hold on.
Benoit, I'll say it.
Yeah. Damn it. Oh, he did exist, you son of a bitches.
He did.
All right. What about guys like that? If you would have took Benoit, Guerrero, Malenko, even Perry Saturn, who was very underrated by the
Jericho.
way. Jericho even. Honest to God. Yeah, Jericho. AJ Styles, who's a little on the side.
Mm-hmm.
What if you took guys like that and you did the same thing with every one of them? The only reason AJ Styles is not in 205 is because his name's too damn big.
Yes.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
What if you did that? What if you put them all in? Oh, you can't have it can't happen. You'd have never had AJ Styles versus John Cena. Okay? Which is, I'm sorry, but people won't admit it, arguably the biggest dream match, period, of all time. Now that's going to be, fought about a little bit, but to me, that was the biggest dream match that came true for me.
That was
AJ
that was
Styles
a
and John
match
Cena.
too.
That was a great feud. That was a great feud.
Good.
Hopefully they'll revisit it someday. But I guess I don't know. I guess that's it for us. I guess Double J have to call up our good buddy Lavar and have a drink at the local Big Baller Express watering hole, and I look forward to it.
Real quick, Jimmy, what happens when people mention LeVar Ball on the Double J Podplex show? You know what happens?
I'm getting a little nervous because I think I know what happens.
Look, so you hear this? This is paper.
That's paper.
This is paper.
That's
you hear
paper,
this?
guys.
You hear this? Jimmy, you just made the list. That's what you just did.
Well, apparently I've somehow made the list of Double J Podplex.
Uncle Jimmy.
Uncle Jimmy made the list.
Jimmy.
Damn it, it's official
just
now.
Made the list.
I might have to give up my LeVar love. But until next time, this is Jimmy.
And I'm Jeremy.
And we are the Double J in the Double J Podplex in the lovely man cave in beautiful Metairie, Louisiana. And we wish y'all adieu. We will see y'all before Great Balls of Fire. Y'all drive safe.
And happy 4th.
Happy 4th, baby. America the beautiful, home of the brave. Wait. America the beautiful, safe because of the brave.
Yes.
Thank the troops. Thank all of those fighting overseas for us. Mm-hmm. Thank all of those who have fought to give us this great freedom that we take for granted way too often.
Absolutely.
And we need to sit back and kind of look in the mirror and see all that we have and stop bitching about what we don't have. Y'all have a great 4th, guys.